Good morning, Dan. Today is June 12th, 2010. I'd like to quickly respond to your video and also touch on some of the points that I didn't get to in my last video. First of all, you talked about how we need direct regulation on companies to tell them to do, tell them to take the safety regulations that you believe they should take, or the government believes they should take, because providing economic incentives won't be enough. They'll just pay the damage, and whatever happens, happens. That might not necessarily be a bad thing, but that's something we can debate about. If not before the end of the rest of this week, maybe we'll touch on the subject again next week, but we'll see what we're going to do. I agree, let's lower the videos to 3 minutes. So here we go. I've got about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. I'd like to also point out one thing that I missed in my last video, which is that one of the things that this accident shows, I believe, that's not going to be covered and probably not going to be talked about, is why direct regulation doesn't work. As you said in your last video, I think it was your first video, that BP was not compliant with a number of the regulations that were in place to prevent an oil spill from happening. And that's part of the reason why regulations don't usually work. BP has an army of lawyers which will get on the case and find some loophole in the law, or they'll just ignore the regulation altogether and do whatever they think is economically efficient for them to do, even if it means breaking the law and ignoring a regulation which has no economic backing behind it. Simply saying that, oh, well, we'll make them put a regulation in, doesn't mean that they're going to adopt that regulation. They can just ignore it and keep drilling, and nothing will happen. And if they pass tougher regulations which say you have to have this, the same thing will probably happen. What you have to do is you have to make it economically efficient for a company to take a regulation, to take a certain safety measure, so that they pay less money and they lower their costs. So, for example, they'll say, our cost is this much, our cost for safety is this much, and then when we have that level of safety, we'll add on that much for damages, or we can take less cost down here, and then we'll have more in damages, but like the total might be around the same. And so they have to try to balance it to lower that as much as possible. And companies are much better at doing that than broad rules created by politicians in Washington who seriously have no clue how these industries work. If we simply say, look, you cause damage, you pay for it, they will be able to calculate that damage better than a politician will. My time's up. Hopefully we'll get another couple videos in before the end of the week. Maybe we'll carry over to next week. But that's all for now, and I anticipate another response from you.